I'm not messing with you, but that is actually what happens. What I have an app on my phone that detects unknown numbers and random calls from like other states, and it will automatically like give like an algorithm of whatever kind of comedic stuff, or it'll have like random people. Like I can have Hillary Clinton talk to someone, or some ridiculous. I could have like George Carlin on the phone with somebody, and that's what it does. Like if some like random scammer from like India is trying to call me, it'll set it up just to waste their time, and then and I'm sorry, I'm not trying to mess with you or do anything. I know it's probably super confusing on your end, but what's
the name of the app?
Robo Killer.
Robo Killer. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Robo Killer. It's like $12, $12 or $30 or something a year, and it gets rid of all that BS. And my life's been a lot better because I haven't gotten any real BS calls in a while. But it sucks for when I need to talk to people like you, So I just need to fix that. Is there an official number that you use that I could always just accept it so it doesn't have to go through that?
No, there is not an official number that I use. I to do this particular call. That's why I asked if you had Discord or Skype, because those are.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna have to do that then for sure.
Yeah. But I'm talking to you on your phone, so it's fine. Because I find for some people they just want they're not tech savvy, and so they just want to do it easily, right?
Yeah.
So this is the easiest way to do that.
Yeah, that's me.
How you been, man?
Yeah. Good. Well, hang on. Before we go on, it said I got a call from Oceanside, California.
Yeah, I'm not from there.
In Google Hangouts. No, I know. It's in Google Hangouts, but is that where like it beams off where you're trying to call from? Is that how that's working?
It's that or a terrible coincidence.
Yeah. Okay. So you're definitely not in California right now.
I'm not.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, man. I've been doing good. I just got back. I was in Wisconsin. My family has a cottage up there, so I was there with my girlfriend. It was just us two. We kind of went up there for the weekend, just had a relaxing time, grilled some steaks, and just relaxed. So it's like right by the Wisconsin Dells, if you've ever heard of it.
I have not, but it sounds like you're living the dream.
Yeah. I'm a very lucky man. I can't really complain right now.
What did you think about that tweet that I sent you?
Oh my God, dude!
That was a pretty cool guy, right?
I'm not on Twitter, so I was shocked when you sent me that, and the fact is that video still up? I didn't know you could send. Okay, so here's the thing: Knives Monroe sent me a vid. Can I say it?
Of course.
On here?
Yeah.
Okay, so Knives Monroe sent me a video of a guy shitting out his own testicles, and both of them too. I don't know how he did it. Well, I have an idea, but yeah, the video starts off with him coming into frame, completely naked, ass to the camera lens, and just shits him out, and it's in like a slow-mo approach. So just ridiculous, dude.
Yeah, that was my response to the dick pics that you were sending me.
What?
Yeah,
I didn't send you no.
You sent me of the super well endowed black gentleman and his hangs massive dong. You must have sent me like 3 or 4 of those.
Yeah. Oh my, he's trending. I don't know when he was trending, but I know he died, but he was doing like porn or something to like support his family, and I don't know, he's just a big, I think they call him Big Mike, but whatever. There's just so many memes about this guy, and it's the funniest thing going around right now, in my mind.
That's why I thought you would appreciate that tweet.
I
figured it was right
when was
up your
that
alley.
one made? Was that brand new?
I don't know.
The guy shitting his balls out?
I'm not sure.
Oh my God. I was not. when you sent it to me, you should have just sent me without any description. I would have been shocked. But
who did you send it to?
Craziness. A bunch of my friends.
That's what I thought.
No question. But when I send that stuff, everybody expects me to send that, so they already know going in. Like if I was like, hey Dad, send this out to some people, they'd be shocked. But when I send that stuff, people are like, I'm expecting it. But I'm surprised Twitter is Twitter able to, is that video not banned yet?
Yeah, all things
go. If you put that on YouTube, it'd be done.
For sure. On Twitter, it's no holds barred.
Oh my God.
That's right.
I didn't know. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm not big on Twitter, but so you could just send nude stuff, so there's porn on there and nobody says a thing?
That's right.
Wow.
That's Twitter.
That's crazy. I heard that on Joe Rogan, that that you could do all that. Like porn stars could have their links to their websites and stuff, and just all this weird dark web stuff doesn't really get banned on there.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's a whole Joe Rogan episode. The CEO of Twitter was on with him a couple times.
Yeah, Jack Dorsey.
About like privacy and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. But man, I have before we go any further, I have a list of questions that I wanted to ask you. But if you want to talk about something else,
well, wait a second. You have a list of questions you want to ask me?
Yeah. Wow. I want to become the interviewer.
No one's ever done that on the 100 plus episodes of this podcast. So I'm honored. I'll do my best to answer these questions to the best of my ability.
Some of them are a little tacky, a little cliche, but others are interesting. But I just came up with a list of them. I didn't Google them; they just popped into my head. I'm like, I kind of want to know.
Well, lay them on me. I'm in. I'm in. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Let me look right here. Wisconsin list, no. Oh, questions to ask Knives. All right, here we go. Number 1, describe success. Some of them are questions. Some of them are like, just tell me what you think. Number 1, describe success in one word.
That's a good question. Describe success in one word.
Yes.
Ooh. One word? Man, not even like a sentence. One word. Success.
Okay, we'll be flexible here. Do a sentence.
Okay,
describe success in.
But
in
I still
summary.
I like a good challenge. In one word, I'll say peace. If you can achieve peace, peace of mind, peace in your life, there's a resolution in peace. You've done the work to earn it. Right? You do the work every day to keep it. Success to me is that in one word. But if I had to kind of put more bars on it, I would say if my kids thought that I did a good job in protecting and raising them and loving them and educating them, that's the ultimate success. If this is gonna sound corny as hell, but if I die and get to the gates and God was like, hey, I liked your stuff down there. Good stuff. That's a success. If I could make the old man proud, that'd be really cool. You stumped me out the gate with the first question, brother.
Yeah. I know. I thought about it. I was like, describe, and I'm like, what if it's one word? It's a good one. You should ask your guests for that from now on.
I'm writing all these down.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You ready for the next one? I really like your description on that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, number 2. What's the strangest thing that has ever happened to you?
Oh, man, these are the best questions ever. The strangest thing that has ever happened to me. The strangest thing.
I know it's kind of vague.
I have an actual, the strangest thing that ever happened. I will say that it may or may not be illegal, so I won't say it on the podcast. I'll tell you off mic one day. But I will tell you something that was kind of strange that happened. I was working last year. I'm on one of my last travel dates. I'm in North Carolina. in the smallest airport that I've ever been in. Like, I think only 2 planes fly out of there. And so I get there very early. I never do this. I go to the bar. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I don't do drugs. I got drug-free tattooed on my knuckles. I just, I've tried it. It's not really for me. I go to the bar. I sit down. I got like an hour to wait. I don't like waiting. So I asked the bartender, hey, pour me a shot of this whiskey thing. I don't know what to call it, right? I've never done this before. And the lady bartender's like, sure thing, guy. She pours me a shot. She gives me the shot. And I tell her right before I take the shot, this is the first time I've ever done this. I've never gone up to a bar and have ordered a shot before, and let alone do that at an airport. And this is just not really my style. I've never done this before. So I told her, cheers, because this is my first time. She takes the shot glass from me, pours the whiskey back into the bottle, and says, nope, it's not going to happen here. She didn't let me take my first shot. She didn't let me drink. She was like, you shouldn't drink. And I was like, what kind of bartender does that? What in the North Carolina fuck like is this? How does that happen? Are you kidding me? If I knew you were going to take this away and stop me from being a Mayan, I wouldn't have told you in the first place. And there was other people there, and they couldn't believe it, and it was nuts. And I would say that's the most recently strange thing that's happened to me. That was some Knives Monroe shit.
Yeah, I've heard some of your weird stories of the past, and that's up there, man. That is definitely up there.
That's a good question.
Oh man. Okay. Nice, man. You ready for number 3?
Oh yeah. How many are there?
Oh shit, 11.
Let's do them all.
Okay.
I'm having the time of my life.
Some of them are easy, some of them are simple, some of them are more like what these ones were. Let's see, number 3. What's the craziest stunt you've ever performed?
Let's see. I will say,
because I know you have a wrestling background too.
I do. Let's see. I've been choke slammed on barbed wire. I've been choke slammed through tables and thumbtacks, and I don't know if we ever fucked with fire. I don't think I ever did. But I would say the gnarliest thing was I did a Mexican street fight with my buddy Serge. We did this one angle my senior year where, kind of like Kill Bill, I had a kill list, and I wrote down a list of 5 guys, and I told myself I would not have an opportunity at the title unless I beat these 5 guys. And like number 1 on my list was my buddy Serge, and it was like a Mexican street fight. And the finish, man, I gotta say, like, I didn't really blade a lot. Okay, that's not true. I didn't blade a whole lot, like Dusty style, but I maybe gigged 4 or 5 times in my entire career. And this was one match where I bladed really deep, and I lost a lot of blood. And the spot was my friend Serge. I don't know if you know Edge's finisher. It's kind of like a DDT. It's called the Edgecution. And my buddy like had my arm up over his neck like a suplex, and DDT'd me on a chair that was sitting up, like this, the standing chair. And I just remember both my legs are off the ground. I couldn't like put my hands in the way because of the suplex position, which is not the way you DDT someone. And it was just head on chair, very, very painful. But if this was any other sport, it would be done right there. But this is backyard wrestling, and so I knew that I had a spot that I wanted to do off my mom's house. And so I get a ladder, I'm bleeding, I put my friend on a chair. Damn, and I put him on, this is the craziest stunt to answer your question I ever did. I put him on a table, I climb up the ladder. This is my first guy off my list, and I jump off my mom's house, which was scary, man, because you're up there, it feels high. And I jumped off, and I Randy Savaged, elbowed him through a table, pinned him 1, 2, 3, and then I'm like, woo, I'm a legend, I can't believe I did this. And my friend was like, oh yeah, the memory card corrupted, we didn't get that on camera. That fucking hurt.
Oh my god,
that hurt more than the match itself. Was the fact. And I was like, man, fuck you guys, like I just did something I would never do again, and it's not on camera. That would have hurt. But yeah, the craziest stunt I guess I ever did.
Dude, I was just about to ask you if that was on YouTube. Fuck.
I know. I wish. I fucking wish.
You know what? Yep, it's just tough. So, hey, but at least you got it. I mean, you had others. How many people were watching it? Did you have like an audience like you did with your brother?
That's funny. That was like you never like had an audience where you would invite people. People just showed up because it's like it's hood shit, you know. And so if you make enough noise, people walk out and they're like, "What's going on here?" And they kind of got the idea that it's sort of not a scary fight.
Oh,
like
okay.
we've had the cops called on us a few times where, I mean, that's why you shouldn't wrestle on someone else's property. But when it was at my mom's house, like, no, by and large, neighbors knew if they were mowing their lawn, they stopped and they went back inside and they're like, nope, we don't want to watch this. We don't want to see this. And so the audience was like my fellow friends that were there. So maybe like 10 people, not a whole lot.
Yeah. Nice.
Good question, bro.
What a situation, man. Yeah. I used to do that a little back in the day. I think I have some old DV tapes of wrestling, but nothing like to the level of what you were doing. You know, we were just doing kids stuff.
What did you wrestle on?
No bleeding or anything. Just the grass.
Yeah, there you go.
My sister had a few mats when she was doing gymnastics as a kid, you know, so we just had a few like gymnastics mats, and then my dad had some like really cheap crappy aluminum ladder, like 6 foot, and we would like jump off of that and practice like frog splashes onto the mat and stuff with each other. But you know, we'd take like a dog cage and throw it on each other, like nothing like of like chairs. We never like did steel chairs. We were too scared about that. But you know, I never took it that serious. But you know, there was a few bumps we took, you know, off the ladder. We never got, you know, because you didn't have like tables as a kid. What did you use for tables when you were wrestling? What was the table you went through when you said the memory card didn't go through?
Right. So I think for that particular match, we used like a picnic table, like those plastic ones that like the legs can break. So it shattered like glass. So that was cool. But whenever we put someone through a table, it was really like a 2x4, like this flat wood piece, spare wood. Like my mom lived next to this factory, and so we would always go to the dumpster. This sounds so ratchet when you say it now, but we would go to this dumpster and we would take like a pallet, you know, we would just take stuff, and for all I know, there was like nails sticking out, and there were some accidents, so people did get kind of fucked up, but never like an actual cool table, right? But yeah, wrestling on the ground is the only way to do it. If you're wrestling on a trampoline or you got mats, you're chicken.
Yeah, I agree, man. We were chicken, but we couldn't help it. It was like around the 1999, 2000 era, so I was around like 9 or 10. It was like the most impressionable time, but once Jackass kind of started picking up some steam, I gravitated more towards that stuff than
same here
than the wrestling.
Same here.
You know, the crazy, stupid shit. Hey, let's jump into a thorn bush. You know,
good times. I have no regrets.
Yeah. Oh yeah, damn, dude. So do you number 4? Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't remember all these questions, so if the wording is wrong, forgive me. If you were blindfolded and didn't know what gender or race, wait, hang on.
I like where this is going.
If you were blindfolded and didn't know what gender or race or how long should a first handshake be, or how strong should? If you were blindfolded and didn't know what gender or race, how strong should a first handshake be with that person? Would you assume it's a girl right away or a guy? I don't know. How would you go into that?
I would assume it's a Korean female.
Yeah.
And shake it very tenderly, probably with 2 hands, where my left hand is over that person's, the back of their hand, you know, like the kind of like the grandma handshake.
Interesting.
That's what it would be. Yes.
So you go in with
tenderness,
a gentle nature.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Whoever it is. Okay.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yeah, I didn't know that about myself either until now.
Damn. Small Korean woman. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good. Always go in with a gentle approach. You don't always have to be aggressive.
What would you do? Would yours be super aggressive?
I don't know. I've always, because it's interesting because I've always been taught, when you meet somebody, you do a firm handshake, and you look them in the eye. But if I was blindfolded and I didn't hear that person or know who the hell I was going to handshake,
mm-hmm.
it would, I don't know, it would go everything against I was taught. So
mm-hmm.
I'd probably gravitate to a lesser firm handshake, but just enough to like let that person know I'm there. But yeah.
Those are
I didn't even think about it myself. I was just thinking about how would you answer it.
Those are really good questions, my guy. Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man. All right, number 5. Let's see. I saw Midsummer because you talked about it, and I had to see it. So I remember you talking about how unsettling it was. How do you feel about Midsummer in a short summary?
I put it in the category of movies I will never go back to. I was on a podcast recently. The podcast is from Austin. Those guys are called Have You Seen This One? That's the name of the podcast. And so I had to rewatch it for that podcast. But like I don't. It's not a movie I want to revisit. Like I thought, I have a buddy who legit, no irony, thinks that movie is a comedy. He looks at it like The Wizard of Oz, like it's funny to him or something. For me, it was like traumatic. I thought it was a nihilism porn, it kind of just repeated this, like, humans are shit, humans are evil, give humans power, this is what they do with power and boredom. Like, it was very nihilistic, I thought, fatalistic. What did you think? I'm more curious about what you thought.
Well, I was definitely intoxicated when I watched it because I knew, like, if you are saying it's messed up, then I know for sure. It's like I'm like, if it's that much of a train wreck, it's one of those where you got to see it, like Hostel or like Saw. You just kind of see it because you know what you're going into. But I knew going in that it was a cult-like movie. But as it just went on, it was mentally damaging, like emotionally damaging and extremely traumatic. If you've never, or if you have known someone who's committed suicide, like the movie starts off right away with a suicide angle, and it sets you off for complete, like if you have bad anxiety, I don't even think you can make it through 5 minutes of that movie. It's just like the whole movie is complete anxiety. And my girlfriend Nicole, she doesn't even, like, she can't even handle going in a haunted house, and like, Goosebumps scares her, so I told her, don't watch this. It's not something that you're gonna like. But I was completely fucked up by that movie, and I don't ever care to go back there again because it's just like, it's pure hell. Like there's no darkness, there's no there's some gore, but like it's just complete exhaustion from watching it. You just get beat down from the minute you see it.
That's the way I felt for sure, man. That was a hard one.
Yeah, definitely not. I just want to have a disclaimer out there. If you have suffered from that, and I know you, Knives, have gone through some really traumatic experiences in your life, and I'm sorry you had to go through that movie. And anyone else who has had thoughts about suicide or extreme depression in their life, I really don't recommend that you watch this movie just because we're making a big thing about it. So just wanted to throw that one out there.
You said it better than me.
Yeah, it's a dangerous movie, and a younger generation that might see that could, I don't know, like how much more messed up of a movie do you want to see than that? That's what I want. Like, if I don't know, it's what did you say? It's like not horror porn, but it's like not gore porn, but it's what is it? The word I'm looking for. People
nihilism
who are,
porn. Yeah.
What is? What is it?
Nihilism.
Okay, what is nihilism exactly?
Let me look it up because I think it'll be better that way. Nihilism is the rejection of all religious and moral principles, comma, and the belief that life is meaningless, right? For me, like the movie was, yeah, okay, all religions like have their weird quirks and are to like alien eyes, Catholicism or Christianity or Mormonism or what have you, Western religions like would appear just as weird as this religion, right? This one kind of just felt like it didn't. I don't really thought like there was no light on the other side. There was no heaven. Like all is love. Like it really just felt like rapey and tortury, and like these people are bored. So bring us some young blood, some fresh meat for us to fucking literally just devour these people. Like that to me was just kind of like, oh, and there's no rhyme or reason. I know there's tons of symbolism and allegory and meaning like in the movie, and I appreciate that. Like obviously it's a well-made movie, but it just felt like to take away and subtract more than it kind of added to life for me.
Yeah. It definitely made you feel like you were trapped in a prison in your own soul. Like while you were watching the movie, you felt everything that those characters were feeling. Did you feel that way too?
I did, yeah. In the beginning,
or did you have your own approach to it?
No, I honestly was in love with the female lead character just because I so wanted her to just have a hug and be safe and be okay and grieve. But in a strange way, one thing that the movie suggests is a human being in that grief process will find a way to process. We'll find a way to grieve one way or the other. Like I said this in my review, the human spirit is so malleable like clay. You can shape it into whatever. You can even put this batshit religion in there and people will find a way to cope. Like that was like a very just dark message. I thought it was dark. It wasn't one of those horror movies that was like boo or gotcha or a demon or something. It was like more like, no, humans are fucked up.
Yeah, just so many things were confusing about that movie. Like how, like at a certain age, you have to succumb to whatever they want you to do, or jump off a cliff. So you don't have to be taken care of. Like they didn't believe in nursing homes. Like why wouldn't they put these old people in a nursing home? No, they have to just die the way, while they're still able to move properly. And I was confused because how do you even make it? The way the characters were treated in the movie was weird because how did old people get to be that age in that cult?
Right. I know.
Before, because every decade it's like you reach a different responsibility in the cult. Mm-hmm. But how do you? It doesn't seem like it'd be even possible to make it to the age of 70 in a cult like that. So that's what the movie didn't explain that I didn't get. But I mean that was the least of my worries when you take into factor what happened. But all right, enough with that movie. I don't want to give that movie any more credit, but I will say it was well shot, but it totally was a mind fuck of a movie.
Totally.
More so than the Blair Witch.
Yep, I agree.
But all right, what am I? Oh, okay. All right, you ready for number 5?
I'm ready, sir.
Or number 6. Number 6. All right. Pick your. I know we talked about this before, but pick your 3 favorite wrestlers of all time. Good. You got them?
Mm-hmm. You want me to tell you what they are?
Now you have to. Yeah. Yeah. Pick your 3 favorite wrestlers right now.
Oh, you want me to tell you who my 3 favorite wrestlers of all time are?
Yeah. Just pick those, and then I have another one.
Okay.
Another thing to add on to that.
Okay. Eddie Guerrero, for sure. I'm going to say, gonna say Stone Cold Steve Austin. So basic. And I will say Cactus Jack, number 3.
Okay. So now you got to kill one, fuck one, or marry one.
Okay.
What are your picks?
Kill Cactus Jack, fuck Eddie Guerrero, marry Stone Cold Steve Austin.
All righty.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Fair enough.
I think, man, that was easy.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I tried to make it a little more lighthearted than all these deep questions.
Yeah,
all right, so
number
7. If you had to travel to one country to take your girlfriend and kids, wife and kids, whatever, for the rest of your days, where would it be and why?
New Zealand. And why? The answer to why is because I think that's a beautiful place to die.
Okay.
That's the real answer, you know.
New Zealand.
New Zealand. There's everything that's there. You get all 4 seasons. Because I'm from Texas, right? We only got the 1 season, and my family's never seen mountains. They've never fucking seen mountains, you know, let alone rivers and all the green, and just like it looks so beautiful. You know, the filmmaker side of me could make all the movies that I want down there. The community seems beautiful. The government down there seems, you know, competent and beautiful. They speak English, right? And it would be a wonderful place to be buried there. It's like the furthest place from South Texas I can think of.
Yep. I was also told there's no mosquitoes there, I believe.
No way.
Something...
I think I heard that too.
I don't know. That's what I heard, that like it doesn't exist there. You have to fact check that one, but I heard something about that.
Am I wrong, or is it like
amazing.
ants or something?
That's one of my bucket list places to live.
Yeah.
I mean, not live. That's one of my bucket places to go and visit, from all the hype with Lord of the Rings,
of course,
being filmed there, and all these other epic things that have happened in that country.
Yeah.
So a good pick. Solid pick. It seems like you already know, like that. You know,
or I'm really good at
kind of thought about it.
I'm really good at just being full of shit. It's one of those.
Yeah, either or. All right, number 8. You ready?
I'm ready, sir.
Okay. What is one major goal outside of the entertainment business that you have for yourself?
Wow. Outside of the entertainment business, I guess to be fit, right? To be thin, attractive, to be hot, to be the most fully realized version of myself. Like, I honestly feel like I can't accomplish the goals in my career in entertainment before I get my body right and my brain right. Like, I want more discipline in my life. Like, I sit down at my desk and I work too much, you know, and I eat like shit. Like, I'm not disciplined enough. I want to be one of those like daily 365 guys who is getting after it all the time, who's ready at any given moment for shit to go down. And I know we kind of romanticize that level of masculinity, but for me, like, I want my brain and body to be there because I feel like my relationships will prosper, my health will prosper, I'll get my money right. You know, like that kind of stuff for me, it trickles down. It starts with your physiology. That's what I believe. Yes, sir.
Okay. It said, if I attempted to annoy you in person for as long as you can stand, how long do you last for, knowing me and all the videos that you've seen of me?
If you attempted to annoy me, is that the question? How long could I take it for?
Yeah, like in person. Like, say we hung out for the first time, or like we were doing some business together for like a week.
Yeah.
And how long, if I was doing my Nutty Batuski stuff, how long would it take for you to be like, all right, man, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to be done with this.
I think I could take it forever.
All right. put you up to the challenge then.
As long as you're not like hurting yourself or hurting other people, I wouldn't have anything. Why would I stop you?
Okay. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I just wrote that one down.
You're
really think much about
You're breaking
that.
up there, bud. You're breaking up there. Maybe you got like a good connection and stuff.
Yeah. I got. It says 2 bars. How do I sound right now?
It's just coming in and out a little bit.
Okay. Maybe you should. I'll walk around. About right here.
Yeah, that's perfect, man.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So number 10. I only have 2 more. All right. Number 10. What feels better, a good dump or a good pee?
A good shit for sure.
Yeah. I know. Like I don't know. You said you don't drink beer that much, but I mean, if you ever had a lot of water, or soda, or whatever, and you're at a party and you just forget that you actually had to go, and it's that I don't know. It's a tough one for me.
So I thought about it. I thought about it like on both extremes, like you said. Like I have been in that situation where I need to pee so bad, I'm gonna die. I pee and it feels fucking good. Do not get me wrong, it feels good. But I've also been on the flip side where I really have to shit. I'm gonna die, and then skadoosh, and oh my god, it's orgasmic. In that moment, not only are we infinite, but in that moment, like. I'm like, this feels good. Like I'm hitting my G-spot or something. I'm like, it's all good. Get it out. It's like exorcism. Get it all out, buddy. I ain't afraid. I ain't afraid.
Crazy.
I'm comfortable with myself, man. I can tell you. So butt stuff all the way, my guy.
Oh, I know you know all about butt stuff, man. You guys show me videos of guys shitting their balls out of their ass. So,
but don't you kind of feel like if you're in that rocking chair and you're 85 years old and you're like, I've seen it all, and if someone were to say, have you ever seen a man shit out his own balls that he shoved up his ass? You would say, wait a second, no, I've never seen that. I've seen a lot of shit, but I've never seen that. Wouldn't it be a shame? Wouldn't you have died in vain if you didn't see that and scratch that off your list? Thank you, Dave.
In person or video?
I mean, I'd rather take the video. I don't want to see it in person, but that's just me.
The smells or whatever could come out of that. Yeah, you're right. But okay, I'm more of an in-person kind of guy.
Yeah.
So, but that would be something that if I died and I never saw it, I don't think I would regret that. I'd regret a lot of other things in my life. But yeah, great conversation, guys.
That's what I'm here for. That's why they pay me the big bucks.
All right, number 11, the last one that I wrote down. What is Dr. Phil's full name?
Could you say that again? I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Oh, sorry. What is Dr. Phil's full name?
I have no idea. Do you know?
No.
Man.
I was watching it one day. I was watching the episode one day. I'm like, you know what? What the hell is his real name or his full name? And just put that down the guys Monroe.
Apparently, it's
that's something you should. That's something that you should ask all of your guests.
Yeah, I'm going to. Yeah, Dr. Phil McGraw. Yeah, that's his name.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah, apparently.
Phil McGraw.
I preferred the life before that mysticism was ruined. Don't you?
Yeah. Like Oprah or something. Or not Oprah, Cher.
Madonna.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, man. Those are some great questions.
Thanks.
I want to ask you some questions.
I'll come up with more, but in due time.
I want to ask you some questions. Can I ask you?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word. I've got to say my favorite. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear, sir.
All right. And what is it? My favorite word.
What is your favorite word?
My favorite word is tits. That's the first thing that popped into my head.
What is your least favorite word?
Man, my least favorite word. I can't think of it right now. I know it's something that I have a tough time pronouncing, but when I get to it or when I hear it, I know that's what I hate. I know that most people's least favorite word is moist. I know that's a fact. I don't know why.
What turns you on?
What turns me on? My girlfriend.
What turns you off?
What turns me off is shitty reality shows like The Real Housewives and white women bickering. It really pisses me off.
Yes. What is your favorite curse word?
My favorite curse word? I gotta say bitch or shit.
Classics.
Yeah.
What sound or noise do you love?
Noise. What noise or sound do I love? There's so many sounds. There's trillions of sounds. Nice. Oh man, put me on the spot with this one. I love a good fart sound. Like if you were in any setting and you hear a fart, it's just immediate. Like drop whatever you're doing. I don't know. It's an attention getter, and I like attention getting sounds. I gotta say a fart. I don't know. It would even though it would piss me off if someone else did it, and I know the smell is about to come. A fart would just make me giggle.
Of course.
Like if you were sitting at Denny's and someone just ripped ass. Yeah. That's a great sound.
Yeah. What sound or noise do you hate?
What is it? Like the sound of a TV, the TVs make when you get the testing, the local testing thing where it's like, and like you're watching your favorite show, something like that. Some annoying sound or you're one of those, the most annoying alarm when you have to wake up for the day, something like that.
Totally. What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
What profession?
Yeah.
Would I like to attend?
Which profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Oh, attempt. I would say astrology.
Ooh. What is it about that do you like?
The fact that's the only thing other than us that we don't, that can go beyond us, or the deepest parts of the ocean, which we just, things that we have not been able to figure out or be able to wrap our minds around is fascinating to me. So I would have to say, yeah, astrology would be something I would love to attempt to be an expert in.
If you were reincarnated as some other plant or animal, what would it be?
Ooh, I would say an eagle for an animal because of the extreme physical pain and what they have to do to become a fully functional adult eagle is insane. I don't know if you've ever seen the process of how an eagle becomes, like a fully mature eagle becomes an eagle. They have to go through a lot of shit, more so than I thought.
It's painful? It's painful for them?
Yeah, they get first off, in order to figure out if they're going to live the rest of their life, they get shoved out of a nest. And if they don't fly, they die. And then there's another process that they go through where they lose all their feathers and they're on the verge of death and they have to still scrounge around for food to get enough strength to get a new coat of feathers. And then they have to sit for an X amount of time, a really long time, almost like hibernation, where they have to, the food that they ate has to suffice until they regrow their feathers. It's like fucked up. And then there's some other painful process that they have to go through. But once all that happens, then you see what a fully functional, mature eagle goes through. It's messed up, but the end result is beautiful, you know. So that would be for me an eagle, because you could fly. You'd never really be, other than someone shooting you down, you're pretty much the king of the world, you know. What else? In a plant, I would just, for interest purposes, I'd be a Venus flytrap.
Ooh.
just catching those fucking annoying flies, man. The most annoying things of the earth. Just grab them and kill them.
What quality do you like most in a woman?
I would have to say her humor. The ability to let loose and be, you know, goofy. Says a lot about me.
You do like that?
Her to me. What?
You do like that goofiness, silliness?
Yeah, not to like the, you know, the 10th degree, but just enough so I can know that that's someone that I'm able to have laughs with and joke around with, and just having a good sense of humor really says a lot about a person to me.
3 more questions. You know? What natural gift would you like most to possess?
Oh, a natural gift. Not a superpower.
Not a superpower.
Okay. A natural gift, I would have to say focus. And staying focused on the task at hand. Does that count?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I would have to say focus, because I've had ADHD my whole life, and I'm all over the place. And as much of an advantage that is at times for my personality, it's held me back in a lot of cases professionally. So I would have to say focus, number 1.
What is your motto?
My motto.
Yeah.
Ooh. I've had a few. Man, my motto, dude, it's
a big one.
That's for like everything, man. I want to say don't take life too seriously. But that's so cliche.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I haven't heard anybody say that. No? Seriously, not in real life.
Okay. Yeah, well, there are things you got to take serious, but I mean, if like I'm the kind of person that's like, I would say, you know, stop and smell the roses. You know, when you go on vacation, it's not all about the agenda. It's about the, you know, the adventure and the surprises that you encounter on the vacation. You could plan an excursion, but you'll never know what happens if you go off the beaten path. So I'm that kind of person that just kind of goes with the flow, and yeah, that's how a lot of my motto is in my life.
I dig it. I dig it. Yeah. I'm gonna ask you my final question. It's kind of a dark one. How would you like to die?
Oh man. For some reason I've always gravitated to, because I'm always the kind of person that's like, I need to prove something to myself. So I was always imagining myself skydiving. If I were to just jump out of a plane with no parachute and I would be crashing to the ground, would I be facing the sky as I land, or would I be facing the ground? And what would that say about me as a person if I landed face up or face down? And so I got to say, probably the best way to die would just be, you know, bullet in the head and end it. Maybe painless, I don't know. But if you're talking about your pride and how you would want to end it. I don't know. I know skydiving would be terrifying because you'd have some time to be just absolutely just scared for the last few minutes of your life. But yeah, I would. God, dude.
Have you gone skydiving before?
Yes, I have.
Oh, so you know? I mean, was it fun for you
Yeah.
the first time?
Yeah. It was a blast. It was a tandem though. So
Yeah,
I wasn't like by myself
of
doing it.
course.
I think the experience would be a lot more intense if it
You would
was
have
just
died.
me.
You would have died if it was just you by yourself.
Yeah. Yeah, it was you have to do like 3 jumps or something with another person strapped to you before you could do it on your own. So you get the experience and the training for it. So at least that's the Illinois rules. But I don't know. Yeah, whenever I think about that, like how would I die if I really had a choice? If I had to, it would probably be that jumping
Wow.
out of a plane and just feeling the wind and just knowing that I know that's a lot going on while you're doing it, but I don't know. There's just taking pills and stuff that just seems weird, and it's just by free falling in the sky, you're just letting go of everything, and you just know that you have to be at peace because there's no going back. So.
Man, that's beautiful, man. You put way more thought into that than I have. I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack on the couch. That's what it's gonna be, you know. And
so you're thinking the more realistic?
no,
like,
no, I'm
what
not.
could
No,
be...
but imagine if you could die any way you wanted, right? Like skydiving would be one last like moment of pure ecstasy or something in a way. So I respect that, but you know, we never really get to pick how we're gonna die. So not really.
That's
You
true.
know, I mean, who wants to fucking die? Nobody. But
Right.
yeah, man, that's deep. I can't believe you wrote down some questions and you wanted to ask me. That's cool. No one's done that. No one's done
Wanted
that
to have
before.
some structure because the last few, and a little bit different vibe because the last time we spoke, the last 2 times I've been on your podcast, it's been so negative with all the, not that we
COVID
had,
and stuff.
not that we wanted, um, this first time we spoke, or well, the 2 times ago, it was about then the COVID outbreak, and then after that, it was what was another one? Then there was, I don't know. It was the COVID stuff 2 times in a row, and then I don't know. And then the last time I wanted to speak, there was an outbreak with the protests, and
Oh yeah.
George Floyd was going on, which
Yeah.
is just messed up. And
Yeah.
I was like, do I really want to come on and start talking about, all the stuff that's going on in our country with race and COVID, because everybody's heard about it by now. And I don't know. I kind of wanted to talk about it on this podcast, but I don't know because it just seems weird, like a white guy talking about what he's feeling during this time, and I feel like no matter what I say, it could be misconstrued. Like I fully support Black Lives Matter, but I'm not the most well-spoken person, and when I try to say things in a positive light that might be misconstrued, I don't know. I just feel weird right now because it is a crazy time that's going on in our country with race and all these movies that they're coming out. Like I heard that Casablanca now is banned, or
No.
Gone with the Wind is now not allowed on TV because it has racist undertones. I've never seen the movie, but there's all these movies that are being brought to light. Like they wanted to, there's something about like Splash Mountain being taken down and recreated because the ride at Disney World, like it represents another movie that was all about like slavery.
Yeah.
And stuff. I'm not sure about all that, but it's have you been okay since all this stuff's going on? I mean, I know what your feelings are, but
Yeah.
like man, I don't know. Because I live in the southwest suburbs of Chicago, and when the riots, when the George Floyd thing first came to light, that was like the day that we were supposed to have our podcast. And I remember you saying, I'm just in a weird state of mind right now, and you even were honest with me, which I love that about you.
Yeah.
You were just like, hey, with all the stuff going on in the world, you're like, I gotta get my mind right, and you're like, I'm just not into it today, and I'm glad you told me about that. So
yeah, I mean, the world isn't better since then, but I certainly feel, it's like when you get knocked down, and if it's like a boxing scene or movie, like you have until the count of 10. I feel like I got up at the count of 9, but I got up,
mm-hmm.
But the world, it's not better. I'm gonna talk to someone that I added on Facebook, because I'd be looking for like new friends and like video people to be inspired by. Because truthfully, like videos on YouTube and shit don't inspire me. Like it doesn't make me feel better or anything. I need to be around better people, to be honest. And this whole COVID thing is really hard to do that. So I reached out, and there's this young black kid who, I mean, he's probably like 27, but he's still a kid to me, who is an incredible writer and poet, and we haven't met up yet, but I know he wants to make like a short film about Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. And he's sent me some stuff that he's written. He's a powerful writer, and I want to talk to him, and maybe I'll have him on the podcast too, so be on the lookout for that. But that's really what I feel like I can do best, is use my superpowers for good. Whether if it's my podcast forum or my video, or my movie stuff, whatever it is, like there needs to be some sort of action, because if I just stay in my head, that's a bad place for me,
Yeah. And like, I don't know what the riots were by you. Not saying riots, like protesting, but there was a difference. There was like a mix between looting and peaceful protesters, and there was a big confusion going on with that at the time. And like I said, I'm in the southwest suburbs of Chicago, and when all this stuff came to light with George Floyd and people were trying to protest, they started shutting down all the major streets in the loop. And with the Chicago River, they shut down all the bridges, so people couldn't like come in mass, herds and start rioting and doing crazy stuff. So then they shut all the exits down on the highways. So what the protesters started doing, they started making their way out to the suburbs and started looting malls and outlet malls, like places that are close to Targets. Target was the big chain that everybody wanted to hit, and I live like a block away from all this stuff, and it started going down for a couple days, and that was right when we were going to do our podcast, and I was like, oh man, like I like documenting these things just so when we look back at it in 20 years, we know like this is how we were really feeling at the time, and this is what was going on. But it seems to have died down. Like, I don't know how much I don't really know what my point is here, but I just wanted to make light of that. So when we look back at this, you can understand like there's like how much has really changed since the civil rights movement, and how much what can white people really be doing, what haven't we been doing, for
I think what white people need to do that they haven't been doing, and I don't mean on Twitter or online, I mean in person, and I mean quite frankly in your own family. That's the hard part. Like, white people need to expose, educate, and express empathy with their family members and people that are, whatever your community is, your neighborhood, your job even. Like, you need to speak up for people who are not in a position to speak up. You need to call out bullshit. Like, you need to say, we don't do this anymore. It's not cool. We don't do this. Like, I really believe in that, man. Even though it sucks, there's going to be growing pains. You're going to miss out on relationships. You're going to lose people, but I don't want people in my circle who don't get it, who don't understand what's going on right now, who actually
hashtag all lives matter and all that stuff.
I'm not for it.
Yeah.
I'm for listening to these people and trying to establish a lasting peace with these people and not getting into fights or in debates. But that needs to go both ways. There's a respect factor that needs to be there, where you'll listen to me, I'll listen to you. We can educate ourselves, but there's so much like ego involved. Like there's this book going around, which I haven't read, called White Fragility. And that to me really encompasses what needs to change, and white people can start there. And I include myself in that category as a white person. As I look at my son and my daughter, they're completely different pigmentation wise, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so therefore, like, it's going to be harder on my son in America, and therefore my daughter's going to have, who's lighter skinned, who's going to have she has a bigger responsibility, and I believe that, and it starts at home. Growing up Hispanic, I can tell you that there's so much racism in that world too, and so I can tell you firsthand that this shit is taught, but we need to break the cycle, and call out people, not shame them and make them feel like monsters, but we got to do it in a way that's humane, that's respectful, and I think people can grow and people can change, and hopefully in a generation or two, like, we have less and less assholes.
I agree. I fully agree. And one of the big things that I've never really thought of or did research on is how police forces are treated and how you become a policeman in our country compared to others. Like, it only takes 5 months to become a police officer in this country, whereas in other countries you have to, like, some countries you have to have military service before you can become a police officer, and you have to have years of training before you even hold a gun and call yourself an officer of the law in other countries. And that's what we're talking about. And I've heard Chris Rock said it best when he's like, I'm probably going to botch this, but he said, there are certain professions that you can't be bad at in this country or any other country in the world. And he was saying that, a police officer is one of them, and then he's like, let's take, for example,
pilots.
A pilot.
Yep.
You can't, did you hear about this one?
Oh yeah, I love it.
He's like, you can't, pilot, you can't be a bad pilot. You be a bad pilot, you crash the plane, you kill hundreds. It's the same principle goes for a cop. And how, if a cop makes a mistake, then his buddies back him, and it's just that we got to break that cycle too of there's like a unwritten thing with cops where they don't tell on each other,
right,
or something like that. But I've just been trying to convey my support to the black community and every community. Like, I do truly want to say that all lives matter, but it's so disrespectful to say that, because it seems like the people who are using hashtag all lives matter are using that as a way to deflect from the issue that is going on. And right now we're having a huge problem with the black people in our country and how they're being treated. And another guy said this, it's like, say your neighbor's house is on fire and they're saying, please help me, my house is on fire, I need to be saved, call the cops or call the police, call the fire department. And you say, yeah, I know it's burning, it's on fire, but I know your house matters, but don't all houses matter? And that's kind of like how all lives matter feels. And that, to me, that kind of opened my eyes. I'm like, oh my God, I never used, I want to say I used all lives matter, but that was when I didn't fully understand. And I actually get mad when people use that, because Black Lives Matter was started in 2015?
Yeah.
Or 16, somewhere around then, and it obviously hasn't been used up until this point to this extent. But it's, I hate that, because I don't know. Oh my God. You just keep going, Knives. I don't know.
Well, no, I think
you take over.
I think it's almost like there are some quote unquote all lives matter people who go through that evolutionary chart, and eventually it clicks with them and they realize, oh yeah, all lives should matter, but they can't all matter until Black Lives Matter.
Right.
Especially in
Because
this
if all
country.
lives matter and there's a problem with the way black people are being treated in our country, then that should matter too. And it's
There are
all
people
deflection.
who want to politicize this and
Yeah.
say, this is you're being tricked, wake up, sheeple, you know, don't believe
Sheeple, yeah.
that black people are disenfranchised, like they're not, people are trying to trick you, and there are hardcore conspiracy theorists that take it that way. And I feel bad for them because I think they need to be heard. I feel like in a way they're fighting for the way something used to be, or their old worldview, or they're part of the problem. They don't know that what they're saying is harmful. It's not productive. It's not coming from a place of listening. When somebody thinks they have all the answers, I know that person is full of shit. So hopefully we can encourage more people listening and being patient with each other. Like, that's the hard part right now, is being patient. That's really fucking hard, right, man. Like, I struggle with that.
What is
every
the
day.
step though? What do you think? Because I know it's hard, especially in this environment with COVID. You can't really get groups together and talk about this. And even if you do, you got masks on, so things could be hard to tell who's talking who wants to make a point. But I feel like the best way to really make progress is to talk about this in person and get all races together, not just white and black people, all other races.
I agree with you.
And like have like organizations where meetings with people who are willing to have adult conversations about this. And I don't see any other way. Like, we can all band together and protest, but how now they're seeing spikes of COVID outbreaks because of these protests. So it's just a weird time, man. And I didn't want to talk about this on the podcast, but I just felt like I had to, and like let people know that I'm in full support of the Black Lives Matter movement. And if there's any suggestions and things that I can do, because as a white man, it's really hard to voice my opinion, because I feel like I shouldn't have one right now. I feel like the best thing I can do is to listen and support. But what do you think, other than what you just mentioned? Like, I don't know. I just feel weird every time I feel like I want to have an opinion about it.
Should. It's cool to have an opinion, but just be open in that maybe your opinion is wrong. Most people don't do that. Most people aren't open in being wrong. For me personally, like, I wrote this down, so now's a good time to kind of bust it out. Let me see if I got this. I write little dumb things down. Oh, everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but not everyone is entitled to their own facts. I think there's a lot of people that come from a place where they think they're right. When you're prepared to die on the sword, and whatever your argument is, and like, I think it's important for both people to take their emotions out of it, to take their opinions out of it, and to look at the facts. And when you're looking at facts, statistics, numbers, what's going on right now, how can you deny that the black person in America has it worse than the white people, than the majority of the people who are in power? Like, if you don't, like, fuck everybody's opinion, let's just look at facts. And how do we, hopefully, if someone's not willing to have that conversation about facts, then now's not the right time for them. So you have to pick your battles. Like, that's the first thing I do because I talk a lot with people like this. I wish I could do it in person more, but if someone's not open to having their mind changed or being presented a new idea that's something that they thought before wasn't true, if you're not open to that, we can't have a conversation that's going to be productive and go somewhere. So you have to set those expectations in the beginning with people, not fight about it on Twitter or in these forums that are just going to kind of get lost, where there's no nuance in conversation. Like, save your energy and deploy it for when you see it in line at Chipotle or Subway or something, and that's when you should use it, you know?
Yeah.
But that's it. That's really all I can offer. There are no right or wrong answers right now. Yeah. Like, just keep your heart open, man, and all's love.
That's true. And another one was white privilege, and that really triggers people, but it's so damn true.
I've seen white privilege in my life, for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I mean, I could list dozens of things that I've done in public that if my skin was black, it would be handled in a totally different manner, you know, whether it's cops or, you know, how other people act. It's just sad, man, and it's good that this is all coming to light, but really hard, because, you know, anytime this stuff has happened, there wasn't a damn pandemic. And I don't know if this is true, could be really wrong, but I heard the African American community struggles more. They're more susceptible to the virus. And I don't know, did you hear anything about that?
Who's more susceptible?
The African American community.
Oh, okay. I didn't know
like
that.
Community. I don't know the whole race, because you know, there's certain diseases and stuff that black people are more susceptible to than other races, and that it affects them more. And I heard that COVID hurts that, but I could be wrong. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good for anybody. That's for sure.
No, I don't know. I didn't mean to laugh at that. That's not funny.
No.
But,
I know, dude. Let me just say it right now. Like, I know what your intent is, you know. So don't trip. It's all good.
I'm not trying to come in, make fun, or you know, try to say, hey, you know, white lives matter too. But I just wanted to mention that stuff, get it out there.
Louis C.K. had this joke. I think it was Louis C.K. where he said, if you were a time traveler and you traveled anywhere in the past and you were white, you'd be fine.
Yeah. I heard that joke. He went way more into detail, but
yeah, it's way better. Yeah, I'm not a comedian. I'm not a comedian, but like, you know, and I think that's true. Like, if you're a black guy, depending on when in time you go back in time towards, like, it's not going to be great for you. You know, I think that's funny. And I think it's funny because the truth hurts, and we laugh to keep from crying.
Yeah, but the man, it's just, when you really try to think about it, what is the real answer other than love and peace? You just have to talk to anybody you're close with, like you're a friend that is black, or not that. The way I'm describing this, I sound like I'm so. I'm just so uneducated, but I want to be out there and do what I can to help the best that I can, other than being in a group of hundreds of people protesting. Like, it doesn't seem smart right now.
I'm telling you, man, like, don't worry. All you got to do is just talk to your white friends who don't get it. That's it. That's the best thing you can do right now.
But I feel like it's, even if I talk with my white friends about it, then it's just a bunch of white people talking about something that you can't really solve, because unless you have other races involved in the conversation, then it seems like it'll really go nowhere. Even if you all
but
agree.
we're not gonna be in this COVID situation forever, you know. So look at it as pre-gaming. You got to pre-game all your white friends too on what's to come, you know, and hopefully we can all just educate ourselves. So when we're out there and we're interfacing with humans again, maybe we have more love in our hearts, or more compassion or empathy. Like, when I was growing up, like, that's one thing, like, that I just don't hear anymore, you know, is the word compassion. It sounds like it's cheesy or something. Like, nobody wants to talk about that. But growing up, my mom, it's like one of the few things she ever really actually tried to teach me was just to be compassionate, you know. And I think it took, like, after her saying it so many times, like, and I think I'm a compassionate human, you know, whether if it's the plight of the black person in America or even women, no matter what skin color you are, you know, like it still sucks out there for women as well, you know, and so on. For my neighbor who, you know, their car got broken into, whatever, whether if it's socio-political or not, like it's important to have a big heart, to live with compassion. You know, if there's someone in front of me at the grocery store and, you know, they're short $1, like I can spare that, you know, like these little micro kind of wins, you know, can stack up and make your community and maybe make the planet better. I mean, we have to believe that. If we don't start there, then we should all just jump off a cliff.
Yeah.
And drink each other's piss and just live on that.
Or be like midsummer
life. If we don't feel like there's hope, man, then we can just do that.
Yeah.
But there is hope.
Yeah, I truly believe it too. I mean, the new generation that's coming up, I don't see much of that going on. Like, I look at shows in the 90s, how racist some of that stuff is. If we look back on it in 20 years, we're going to go, my God, all the racist shit that we've seen as a kid, thought it was acceptable. It's not, you know, and, you know, people like your son and your daughter who are coming up in the world, they don't see color as much and judge people more so on that. And I think it will be a beautiful world the more we bring this to light. And that's the good side of technology, is that we can spread this knowledge faster than it used to be. You know, and people who are more narrow-minded out in the boonies and places where you don't really, where everybody has their own mindset, like small towns where I came from, just on vacation, Wisconsin Dells area. There's certain towns filled with only 500 people, and I had to go to a grocery store out there. Nobody's wearing masks because they don't feel like it's a threat. And I get it if it's a small town like that and there's not that many people, but you know, small towns like that, if you could change small towns like that all around the country, you could change a lot of minds about what's going on in our country. That's the beauty of technology. And I don't know if I'm talking out of my ass right now, Knives, but
no, of course not.
I'm just trying to spitball with things and see where it sticks.
I mean, you said it better than me, man. Well, you know, we should wrap up here. This is the longest podcast we've done, and I want to be respectful of your time. I should probably check to see if my daughter's still alive. I'm just kidding. I hear her.
Thanks,
I hear her
man.
screaming.
I know we could keep discussing this all day, but thanks for giving me a platform to talk about that and
anytime
and to let everybody know, you know, no matter what race you are, speak up and let everyone know, so we can all help each other.
This is coming from a guy. This is coming from a guy whose favorite word is tits.
Yeah.
So you know you can trust him. You know he's got a good heart.
Amen, brother.
Amen. I love you, man. Thanks for coming on the podcast with me, and it'll be up in a bit. So I appreciate you and your presence and your vibes, and you're always my favorite person to talk to, man. So I'm here. I'm here for you if you need anything.
I appreciate you too, man.
Love you, man.
All right, take care.
Later.